Hello, friends. A very warm welcome to Ansarkari in another episode of economics questions. Especially if I see directly, it is the economics optional paper 2 questions, but they are very much relevant to overall personality development with respect to understanding and with respect to putting up ideas when we think about writing in any big examination like UPSC. So, what is our goal? Again, I reiterate, if you go through all the series and all the episodes, our goal had been to internalize and to understand and to enjoy and to go for the maximum fast speed process, like like car racing, where we can understand those points which will be in general missed out. They will be missed out. They will not be seen very clearly in one go. So our goal is to get maximum out of minimum time, and obviously through the streamlined precise minimum efforts, like the way when we speak about today's defense capabilities, like we have been talking about Israel-Iran war, and when we spoke about that, Israel had got capability that even if it wants to hit certain window pane from 200 kilometers away, then it is having a ability to only hit that certain window pane and nothing else. So such precision has gone into defense capabilities. I believe same kind of precision must be there in a daily work and also in anybody's work environment. With this belief, let's go for the questions and let's see what more we can add, what we can enjoy. Why is capital inflow through MNC preferred over foreign departments? Am I right? It's department or debt?
Date, sir.
Debt. So this is what you are. It's looked like P. That's what I was wondering. So
Mhm.
why capital inflow through MNC is preferred over foreign debt? So couple of concepts are being tested here, because the basic concept obviously linked with the how a nation is going to go through its economic transformation, and it is basically the question is pointing towards definitely a country like India, and this question generally is focusing upon post liberalization time period, and in that also it is specifically wanting the candidate to bring the idea that how the growth had been there, and how and what scheme and what policy of Indian foreign trade and also foreign policy and with respect to our economic policies, that we have been pushing in that direction, and we have not been getting into the trap of foreign debt. For there are multilateral institutions, there are foreign countries, there are agreements and so forth. So let's see what simple and clear ideas we can write. Capital inflows through MNCs forms foreign direct investment in greenfield and brownfield projects, ensuring capital asset formation, private sector, that is said by Keynes income employment model. I think wonderfully written. One concept has been put forwarded without any giving any time period, without asking for any kind of slow thing. So such kind of introduction is actually giving more space to you, or means to any candidate or a future officer who is trying to create the base through the introduction, and putting up such a concept where in the body part of the answer one is having maneuvering and one can bring so many different ideas which will be automatically linked with the introduction, and there is no need to even repeat it in the conclusion. So let's see. Through MNCs, stable financial inflows into economy contributing to employment-led growth, stimulates animal spirits in the economy. Very true. The first point is wonderfully written. In India, we can talk about South Korean companies like LG. It even went on to change its name. Even for example, Samsung is another example, and we can think about even a lot of other like IFB is there, and Indian. They are all Indian bodies, but then there had been a their parent bodies are in foreign nations, and same thing goes for a couple of Western models from Germany or from maybe from US also. So minimizes the need for debt financing by government as private investment crowdsourcing. I think both the concepts are wonderful, but illustration we could have brought. That's what I'm saying. Complementary to growth, any our foreign debt or for which adds repayment burden transferred to future generation. This is also true. Even in point number 3, we could have said like in the last 1 decade, as economic services, that this much FDI destination, for example Delhi NCR is a very big destination in terms of FDI. Same thing goes for Bengaluru, and also same thing goes for say Telangana or even Hyderabad. So green shoots in economy, a circular flow of economy created. I think concepts are very beautifully put up. 50%, around 48% score is definitely sure in such questions. Foreign debt also, wide intergenerational inequality. This is a very good diagram. Circular flow also. Foreign debt is a short-term relief, which if spent as revenue expenditure can lead to evergreening of loans. Therefore, capital inflow through MNC strengthen India's. Now here you have brought India's balance of payment, whereas foreign debt is volatile in nature. as said by Economic Advisory Council. So I think wonderfully done. But the point is, in between the body, we could have brought one or two names, or we could have just written like the economic survey in last 1 decade. It has found that we have been a consistent source of foreign direct investment, and that too also in what field. That only this much of addition would have given a sparkling, sparkling uh, uh, over sparkling, I should say, sparkling cover to this question. The concept is very well illustrated, language is simple, point form is very good, classification is very good, but without bringing India, like the way finally you have to bring India in the end, we could have brought somewhere in between also, like India also followed, India also avoid this debt trap. We are not always looking forward to taking this, we try to generate. That is basically. And one point here is also about the long term sustainable democratic setup which is there, because it is also helping MNCs to talent is there, and then technology is there. So I think rest you can understand. Distinguish between fiscal federalism and political feudalism. Very very good question, very applied question, very 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 important to handle such question. How has federalism have been evolving in relation to special category states in particular and other states in general? Very very tough question, in the sense, if we have not prepared, if we have not been reading with open mind, and if you have not been deliberating and challenging the limits, then such kind of question decide whether one is going to get a good rank or not. These questions can't be handled in general, they are not straight away questions, they are having a lot of ifs and buts in between. So fiscal federalism and political feudalism, very 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 little difference between the two.
Political
Because when we say,
federalism. Federalism. Both are federalism, fiscal and political
yeah,
federalism.
oh, it is federalism also, correct. So fiscal federalism and political federalism, they both are overlapping and they are interlinked also, because politics or even political body or even political power, it is the driving force for even economic growth. It is going to decide we are going to do this is going to happen, this, even with the state and center also. From that context, we have to see this. So federalism is the cornerstone of stable and sustainable socio-economic growth of Indian economy, as stated by NK Singh. Very true. Fiscal federalism, devolution of financial powers to center, states, and local bodies through financial commission, like for example Article 280. And political federalism, devolution of political powers to form government, administration, executive at 3 tiers, Schedule 7. And also you can speak about the that 73rd and 74th Amendment Act also comes over here. The recommendation of Finance Commission formed every 5 years. That is also a very basic point. Periodic elections to vote, and role of delimitation. If this answer is of 250 words, then this is a very good structure. Uh, important, important, balanced,
For
important for balanced regional growth, strengthening bottom-up governance and nurture good governance. I think we have been able to clarify what is difference between political federalism and also fiscal federalism. Basic idea is clear. Now, evolution of fiscal federalism as far as special category state is there. North Indian states supported by 90-10 funding share between center and states, so horticulture or even say national mission on agriculture. We would have to bring something of that sort, or even for that matter, in manufacturing we are giving them. Then you have a body like northeast department for planning is also there, a separate ministry is also there. So we have to bring these two words also, that is very very important. Special budgetary support by center, Telangana newly constituted, and tribal welfare, and J&K historical reasons. Oh, these historical reasons are also a good point, but then rather than that says, you can say job creation and also infrastructure. That two word would have been sufficient also. Chhattisgarh, LWA in Maoist activities and threatened safety. I think one layer of ideas are very very much visible, but then since it is an economics question, we have to purposefully keep on molding, even in special category and everything also. If we can recall, say for example, what is the chunk of fund under certain category, if we have given say 10,000 crore, 5,000 crore, or over a period of 5 years, something like that we have to write, or we have to write name of certain big scheme, one big scheme, that will give us a good question. Creation of SPV, as you are saying, very true, but then we have to illustrate. Other states, 13th Finance Commission increased the state share 32% from Central Division Pool, adopting nature for terms of reference like tax efforts, forest cover given, evolving challenges in climate change. So states like Tamil Nadu, states like Gujarat, they will be coming as an example. 14th Finance Commission increased the share to 42%. Discussions over including surcharge and cess as a part of financial division. Share of centrally sponsored schemes reduced and order schemes clubbed to rationalize financing. Therefore, fiscal federalism is a constantly evolving process which should emphasize on reducing a state dependent on center sustainability. I think all ideas are very clear. Everything is done, but only thing is that we have to just bring an element, even in case of normal states also, that how it is, big chunk of, like for example, certain states may be having good textile industries, certain state may be having a very good chemical and pharma industries. For example, Himachal Pradesh, Baddi, that region is there. In Uttarakhand, if you check out any kind of, even medicines in north, then there is Sidkul over there. Uttarakhand is a big division. They have a big division completely dedicated to pharma, and even Patanjali Yogpit is also trying to do that. So uh, we have to bring certain examples, certain very, very pinpointed examples, so that examiner understands that I am not only aware of the conceptual part, but I am also aware of the fact that what is happening on the ground. I think rest, you are able to handle the question. In fact, this is more hard, more demanding way to write answers, more tough way to write answer, rather than bringing illustration and also certain examples with it. This is again a concept based question. If one is not aware, one has not read the textbooks properly and also not been updated, so this question also cannot be done, because today it will not come. In today's time it will come, what more is required from GST, what changes are required in GST, how to make it less complicated. So that is what can happen in today's time. So how is GST different from VAT? What is the grand bargain suggested by the 13th Finance Commission for implementation of GST? Because at that time GST was coming up, so it's good that we are doing this background exercise, because this is going to give us confidence. And in today's answer, we can write 2 lines about from all this understanding. So GST 2017, revolutionary step in India's fiscal and taxation reform that has plugged the cascading impact of multiplicity of taxes before. I think very simply written, very good written. Slowly but slowly raise the power, as I am again suggesting in every work that bring the name of certain leader, I mean to say certain economist or certain textbook. That is the only way to raise the bar, keeping the language simple. So GST, destination based indirect tax, value tax implied only on marginal value added as indirect tax, decided by GST. Uh, is in bracket,
Council.
I can't read what is it.
Council.
Council. I was also wondering. हाँ ये पूरा council ही है, ठीक है. Through the majority of third, fourth, and administered by state and collected by stats, VAT on diesel, aviation turbine fuel, correct, simplified the tax regime, increasing efficiency of tax collection, dismantled old structure due to limitations. Move on.
So it is this much only.
Okay, done. So that was fine, cool, and no means no as such lacuna, but again I'm saying the same point, that certain bargain जो suggest करने की बात की, that second part, what is the grand bargain. So what is the grand bargain? If you are not aware of, then that's fine, but then we have to see the debate going on in today's time. Examine the new exim policy. Given the tough competition in international trade, what corrective measures would you suggest to make it more successful in boosting it? Complete question can come up today also. Same question will be coming up. Only change would be geostrategic tensions and changes and our Donald Trump. These two words will be changed and question is going to come back again, 100%. Everything remains same. Because the kind of hectic bargains going on in the FTAs, the kind of, turmoil whole world is seeing, and still we are trying to balance it out. Whether it is UK India FTA, whether it is Australia, whether it is New Zealand, and we are not part of even our जो यहाँ पर था जिसमें China भी है. I'm not getting the correct.
RCEP.
I'm not. हाँ, वो नहीं है, RCEP में नहीं है हम. ऊपर से हम किसी भी ऐसे बड़ी में नहीं है. We have to protect agriculture, we have to protect dairy. So I think, and China is a big factor, the kind of. So I think from today's perspective, the question is going to come back, but little different. Let's see. You have written from the festival 23-28 only is a customized step to adapt internal and external agencies and facilitate export-led growth in India, DGFT. Very true. Very true. Facilitation and ease of trade using e-governance tools like e-approval, e-licensing, dedicated freight corridors. Investment in infrastructure creation, Vadhavan Port, Maharashtra going to be the largest in India, shipbuilding infrastructure, capacity expansion of Container Corporation of India. Finance framework, export credit guarantee scheme for exporters and compliance with WTO norms. Governance, export township like Varanasi, Faridabad, PM Mitra Textile Park in Allahabad, cluster based model. So only point till coming till fourth point, I think this is wonderfully written, but then again till coming to third point, you should say our share in merchandise is this much percent. Now we target this much percent. Our share in marine food or agriculture export is this much, now we want this much. And if we are facing a trade deficit with the eastern world, especially the China I'm talking about, so what in this only we are going to have those, those jammers. Within these are only jammers, how we are going to put those jammers, and we are going to, this much of combing is required. I think rest definitely it is on track. A boost to MSMEs, policy 360. So I think everything is wonderful, but only the those high points, for example with Bangladesh, like the way we have done in presently, how we are, import export is linked also with uh, the counterpart of export is import. So and also one line we must bring about, rupee, or you can say, RBI, how foreign exchange, one element is, that element is always there. And I think rest, diversifying export and outreach to Europe, internationalization of rupee, this is coming here very good. I like you are bringing Russia, reduce import dependence, domestic energy sources. Very true. I think I like it. Later on, answer is becoming very comprehensive, because there is so much to write in such answers. For example, like the Chabahar port, so much we are depending on it for our whole Central Asia connectivity. And we are one line in export import, we can bring about like the new ship and maritime policy, because we want to cut down the time for the container and the whole shipment, putting up stuff and then going back. And the Vizhinjam port, which if I'm pronouncing it correctly, in Kerala, it is now the first one in India which can even
The
give
transshipment
space
port.
and work,
Hmm.
largest. So these
Transshipment.
one element, one separate element is going to give us a huge boost. So that will break the monotony. And one element of export import, indirectly you can bring about India's infrastructure also, whether it is railways, whether it is roadways, it has been immensely boosted. So one element, only one element, because that is a grassroots facilitator. एंड आपने लिख ही दिया है ई ई के हिसाब से, मतलब इलेक्ट्रॉनिक के हिसाब से, कि हमें वो रोकने हैं, हमें फ्रॉड को रोकना है, या हमें स्कीम्स को और स्ट्रीमलाइन करना है। और जैसे अब हमारा पीएलआई जो वो था, पीएलआई 2.0 टेक्सटाइल में लाने की बात भी है, तो वो इसीलिए है कि भाई वो टेक्सटाइल आएगा और बाहर जाएगा।
Hmm.
तो आई थिंक एक लेयर, या एक लेयर नहीं कहूंगा मैं, 1.5 लेयर आ चुकी है। इसी को आगे बढ़ाया जाएगा तो 2.0 तक पहुंचेगा, तो कुछ वर्ड्स कुछ इसी में से सेम रहेंगे, और थोड़ा डेटा बढ़ जाएगा, और इंटरकनेक्टिविटी वर्ड्स की थोड़ी सी बढ़ जाएगी, डेप्थ आ जाएगी। दैट्स व्हाट आई वुड से, इफ यू आर एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू कन्वे।
जी सर।
So you can just give your feedback and also summarize.
Sir, feedback is that to emphasize more upon precise examples and
Mhm.
examples also like to bring it through data and
Hmm.
comparison of data. So,
Because that is going to take less space.
जी।
वो आदमी जब ही कर सकता है जब आदमी ने पढ़ा हो।
हाँ जी।
मैंने एक पैराग्राफ पढ़ा, और मैंने लेकिन इतना बोला कि सपोज आई से 100 million people have been out of poverty in one decade,
जी।
खत्म हो गया। ये मेरे बोलते ही आपका पीछे का अपने आप आपको समझ में आ गया।
हम्म।
या इफ आई से subsidies have been down by 12%,
जी।
e-governance in the last one decade has given boost to our economy to be growing more than 6% even after COVID and also geopolitical tensions.
हाँ जी सर।
तो मैंने बड़ी बात कह दी, तो
हाँ।
छोटे तो फिर छोटी तो अपने आप आ जाएगी उसमें।
जी।
अब हम छोटी बात नहीं कह रहे हैं यहाँ पे, हम फंडामेंटल बात कह रहे हैं।
हम्म।
ये सारा फंडामेंटल है, ये
हाँ
इसमें
जी।
कुछ गलत नहीं है।
हाँ।
लेकिन जब हमने वो वाला क्वेश्चन किया, फिजिकल फेडरलिज्म और पॉलिटिकल
हम्म।
फेडरलिज्म वाला, तो स्टेट चिल्लाते हैं, जैसे कि भाई अब जैसे कि आप इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पे सोचिए, हाईवेज पे सोचिए, स्टेट
हम्म।
के थ्रू ही नहीं करना है।
हाँ।
तो पॉलिटिक्स तो नहीं हो रही ना, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट तो बोल रही है मैं तो बनाऊंगा भाई।
हम्म।
सिलचर,
हाँ।
आपको याद होगा सिलचर, हमने सिलचर हाईवे की वहां पे बात की थी, जो छोटा सा टुकड़ा है,
जी।
उस पे 800 करोड़ या 1000 करोड़ लगने वाला है, क्योंकि वो
हम्म।
रूट ही ऐसा है।
हम्म।
तो वो एग्जाम्पल लाते ही आपने जब स्पेशल स्टेट की बात की, नंबर आएंगे,
हाँ जी।
क्योंकि वहां से तो 10% मांग रहे हैं।
हाँ।
नॉर्थ ईस्ट अपने आप में पूरा एक देश है,
हाँ जी सर।
जो कि अलग थलग पड़ा हुआ है। उसका तो पोटेंशियल लाने के लिए हमें जो है, मतलब अपनी पूरी की पूरी जान लगानी पड़ेगी। तो ऐसा कोई एग्जाम्पल लाते ही आपका एग्जामिनर समझ जाएगा कि भाई इसको डेप्थ है, इसको पता है।
जी।
जैसे अभी मुंबई से नागपुर का जो आपका, जिसको महासमृद्धि मार्ग कहते हैं,
हम्म।
एग्जाम्पल है, तो उसके चारों तरफ की बात है कि भाई उसके चारों तरफ ग्रीन फील्ड बनेगा, उसके चारों तरफ। तो वो पॉलिटिकल फेडरलिज्म की बात भी आएगी क्योंकि सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ने मिलकर किया है।
हाँ।
और फिजिकल फेडरलिज्म की बात भी आ गई क्योंकि हम फिजिकल फेडरलिज्म में सेंटर अगर स्टेट को दे ही रहा है और सेंटर उसको राइज ही नहीं कर पाएगा तो सेंटर पे हमेशा डिपेंडेंट रहेगा वो,
जी।
कॉन्सिक्वेंटली ग्रोथ ही नहीं होगी।
हम्म।
तो ऐसा एक दो एग्जांपल ला सकते हैं। फिर उसके बाद ड्रग पार्क अगर कहीं पे बन रहा है, बहुत बड़ा ड्रग पार्क है,
जी।
तो ड्रग पार्क हो गया। उसके बाद जो है आप जैसे कोल माइंस है, जैसे अब गोवा है या फिर कर्नाटका है,
हम्म।
तो कोल माइन के बगल में ही है, जैसे उड़ीसा में कोई नया प्रोजेक्ट आ रहा है, मान लो, एक एक एग्जांपल बस बहुत है।
जी।
वही आपको रूल कराएगा बेसिकली।
हम्म।
उसके बिना ना, उसके बिना वही है, उसके बिना हम एग्जामिनर को ये बताने में संतुष्ट नहीं हो सकते कि हमने करंट अफेयर्स, यानी हमारा करंट, हम करंट हैं, हम
हम्म।
करंट है, क्योंकि ये सारी चीज जो हमने लिखी, ये पढ़ के और समझ के लिखी जा सकती है।
जी।
लेकिन इससे हमारा वो वाला मिरर नहीं आता कि मैं तो करंट भी पढ़, मुझे करंट पता है दुनिया में क्या हो रहा है।
हाँ जी।
तो वो कहाँ आया? वो एलिमेंट जब तक नहीं आएगा तो आंसर में एग्जामिनर के हम डिपेंडेंट हैं
हाँ।
कि भाई मन किया तो 5 दे दिए, और उसने हमारी क्लैरिटी के 6 भी दे सकता है, वो मैं मना नहीं कर रहा।
हम्म।
लेकिन अगर ज्यादा वो स्ट्रिक्ट हो गया
हाँ जी।
तो वो 4 भी दे देगा।
हाँ।
वो बोलेगा यार क्या बताया। अब जीएसटी में जो, अगर आपके माइंड आंख बंद करते, अगर आपको दिमाग में नहीं आता कि जीएसटी लास्ट टाइम काउंसिल जो इंटर मिनिस्ट्रियल जो इनकी बातचीत
हम्म।
होती है, या फिर आपको ये याद नहीं आता कि जीएसटी में तो मंत्रियों का रोल है ही, और वो
हम्म।
डिबेट भी करते हैं, और जीएसटी जो है वो जितना भी उसका भी स्लैब है, उन
हम्म।
स्लैबों को कोई डिबेट कर रहा है कि इतनी स्लैब भी नहीं होनी चाहिए, और कोई बोल रहा है भाई कि कि इसको थोड़ा और एफिशिएंट बनाओ बस। तो
हाँ।
ये बात हमें लानी पड़ेगी जीएसटी
हम्म।
वाले में। और इकोनॉमिक एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट पॉलिसी बहुत अच्छी लिखी, लेकिन फिर मेरा वही कहना है कि आपको अपने आप को मैंडरीन मानना है, अपने अपने को ब्यूरोक्रेट ही मानना है कि
हम्म।
कैसे एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट का एक एलिमेंट है कि कैसे एक पार्ट है हमारा 10% 5% जो उसको मिसयूज करता है, जो पूरे
जी।
सिस्टम को पीछे खींच देता है।
हम्म।
अब मैं आपको अलाउ कर रहा हूं कि आप 100 किलो सोना कंपना मंगा, 100 किलो सोना कंपनी इंपोर्ट करती है विदाउट कस्टम ड्यूटी।
हम्म।
आपको 100 किलो सोना इंपोर्ट करने दिया जाता है हर रोज का, या आपको साल का 10,000, 10,000 किलो आप सोना इंपोर्ट कर रहे हो साल का, ताकि आप उसको एक्सपोर्ट करो।
जी।
लेकिन आपने उसको एक्सपोर्ट को सरकमवेंट करके आपने उसको हमारी डोमेस्टिक टेरिटरी में डाल दिया,
हम्म।
तो हम तो लुट गए। तो ये भी हो रहा है, ये वाला एलिमेंट आपको लेके आना पड़ेगा कि कैसे सेम चीज में एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट पॉलिसी का पार्ट सिर्फ सिर्फ हमारा वो नहीं है ना, सेल्फ रिलायंट भी हमारा उसका एक पार्ट है।
हम्म।
हमारा सेल्फ रिलायंट उसका एक पार्ट है। एक पार्ट आ सकता है कैसे हमारी बड़ी बड़ी ओएनजीसी, ये ओएनजीसी विदेश निगम लिमिटेड,
हम्म।
ओएनजी, और उसके बाद जो है हमारी जो और जो पीएसयू, बड़े बड़े पीएसयू हैं, हमारा जैसे ऐप ये है, हमारा महिंद्रा है या टाटा है या रिलायंस है, कैसे लैटिन अमेरिका में बड़ा सा खोल रहा है।
हम्म।
तो कुछ भी एक
हाँ
एग्जाम्पल, ये आपको
जी।
सब लाना पड़ेगा।
हाँ
ये लाएंगे तो हमारी मेहनत दिखेगी कि हमने टेक्स्ट बुक्स के थ्रू ही तैयार नहीं किया है सिर्फ।
जी।
सर मुझे पता है, मैडम मुझे पता है, ऐसा करके हम कन्वे कर पाएंगे।
हम्म।
तो नाउ यू कैन समराइज इन 2 लाइन्स एंड वी कैन वाइंड अप।
जी। सो ये कि जो फंडामेंटल एस्पेक्ट है उसको एग्जाम्पल से कनेक्ट करना है, वो कनेक्ट करके ही लिखना है।
बिकॉज दैट विल कंप्लीट द पिक्चर।
जी।
हमारा एक लेवल पूरा हो गया कि हम फंडामेंटली बता पाते हैं।
हम्म।
अब ये लड़ाई नहीं है कि क्वेश्चन हम नहीं बता सकते या
हाँ
पूछ
जी।
क्या रहा था, हम आराम से उसको एड्रेस कर लेते हैं।
हाँ।
उसकी चिंता नहीं है
हाँ जी।
कि फालतू लिख दिया, फालतू नहीं लिखा जा रहा है।
जी।
टू मेक इट मोर कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव विल
हम्म।
ब्रिंग दैट एलिमेंट, ये आना ही चाहिए जो लिखा जा रहा है।
हाँ जी सर।
लेकिन इसी का नेक्स्ट लेवल आएगा जब आप कोई एग्जाम्पल दोगे, झारखंड स्टेट का कोई एग्जाम्पल अगर पॉलिटिकल डिवोल्यूशन का है, या फिर किसी भी जो इतने बड़े बड़े ऐड आते हैं न्यूज़पेपर में जिसको हम बहुत बड़े बड़े पेज के देखते हैं, उत्तर प्रदेश है,
हम्म।
डिफेंस कॉरिडोर की बात है। अब
हम्म।
बाहर, अब जैसे रिलायंस, मैं लास्ट पॉइंट दूंगा, रिलायंस, यानी रिलायंस डिफेंस, जो अनिल अंबानी का रिलायंस डिफेंस है, नाउ
हम्म।
इट वांट्स टू डू जॉइंट वेंचर विद अमेरिकन डिफेंस कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स, सो
जी।
दैट इंडिया में डिफेंस मेंटेनेंस, डिफेंस मेंटेनेंस, नॉट न्यू,
हम्म।
डिफेंस मेंटेनेंस, सिर्फ उसका डिफेंस मेंटेनेंस हो,
जी।
उसका बाजार बनेगा अपने आप में। तो एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट का कितना बड़ा पार्ट हुआ ये।
हाँ।
अब जो डिफेंस कॉन्ट्रैक्टर यूएस के जो यूएस डिफेंस को जो सप्लाई कर रहे हैं, वो
हम्म।
इंडिया में भी अगर आकर वो पुर्जे ठीक करते हैं,
जी।
ये आपको एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट पॉलिसी का हमारा विजन क्या है, उसका एक एक एलिमेंट ले आए। तो
हम्म।
वो तो आप लेके ही आ रहे हो उसमें, फिर आप चाहे वो चाहे आप वो ड्यूटी जो पासबुक होती है, जो मतलब आपको, आप एक्सपोर्ट करते हो तो आपको सरकार पैसा देती है,
जी।
आपको पैसा देती है कि आपने इतना एक्सपोर्ट किया, आपको नुकसान ना हो।
हम्म। हाँ जी सर।
So let's bring these aspects, and I'm sure we'll move forward with happiness and clarity, and we'll not stop until we get success. Thank you very much for being part of the programs and also the whole pedagogy with Ansarkari.